Imagine a young boy from Hyderabad who loved cricket and curiosity more than anything, and one day he rises to lead one of the most powerful technology companies in the world. This is the extraordinary journey of Satya Nadella, the man who transformed Microsoft from a struggling tech giant into a trillion-dollar innovation powerhouse. From late nights studying computer science in America to building the revolutionary cloud platform Microsoft Azure, Nadella's story is about vision, empathy, and leadership. Stay with us, because this is not just a biography. It's the inspiring story of how one leader reshaped the future of technology. Satya Nadella, born on August 19, 1967, in Hyderabad, India, grew up in a home that balanced intellectual discipline with curiosity about the wider world, a childhood environment that quietly shaped the mindset of a future technology leader who would one day transform one of the most influential companies in modern history, Microsoft. His father, Bakapuram Nadella Yugandhar, was a respected civil servant in the Indian Administrative Service known for his deep engagement with policy and economics, while his mother, Prabhavati, was a Sanskrit lecturer whose academic influence nurtured a respect for knowledge and learning. Together they created a household where conversation often revolved around ideas, education, and social responsibility, values that would later appear in Satya Nadella's leadership philosophy emphasizing empathy and lifelong learning. Growing up in Hyderabad during the 1970s and 1980s, Nadella attended the prestigious Hyderabad Public School, an institution known for producing influential leaders and thinkers, and it was there that he developed two defining interests: technology and cricket. Cricket, the beloved sport across India, played an unexpected role in shaping Nadella's thinking about teamwork, resilience, and leadership. He later reflected that playing cricket taught him how individuals contribute to a larger system, a lesson that would echo decades later when he managed thousands of engineers and executives in Silicon Valley. While Nadella was not initially considered a prodigy in computing, he possessed something more enduring: relentless curiosity and determination to understand how systems work, qualities that drove him toward engineering. After completing his schooling, he enrolled at Manipal Institute of Technology, where he studied electrical engineering and developed a fascination with computer science and distributed systems, fields that were rapidly evolving as the global computing revolution began accelerating in the late 20th century. By the late 1980s, Nadella decided to pursue higher education in the United States, recognizing that the epicenter of technological innovation lay there, and he enrolled at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee to earn a master's degree in computer science. Friends and professors often described him as intensely focused yet humble, someone who would spend long nights working in computer labs experimenting with code and exploring emerging software concepts. During this period, the technology industry was transforming rapidly with the rise of personal computing, networking, and software development ecosystems, and Nadella found himself immersed in the intellectual energy of the American technology landscape. After completing his master's degree, he began his professional career at Sun Microsystems, a pioneering technology company known for its innovations in workstations, servers, and network computing, where he gained early exposure to enterprise-scale systems and learned how large technology organizations operate. However, the defining chapter of his professional journey began in 1992 when he joined Microsoft, a company that at the time was already dominating the software industry through the leadership of Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Nadella entered Microsoft during an era when the company was expanding aggressively into new technological domains, and over the following decades he would quietly rise through its ranks, not through flashy publicity or dramatic headlines but through consistent execution, deep technical understanding, and the ability to build collaborative teams capable of solving complex problems. Early in his Microsoft career, Nadella worked on the company's transition toward enterprise computing and internet services, contributing to projects that expanded Microsoft's influence beyond the desktop operating system market into server infrastructure and online platforms. During the 1990s and early 2000s, Microsoft faced intense competition from emerging internet companies and evolving software paradigms, and Nadella became involved in initiatives that explored cloud computing long before it became mainstream. He recognized that the future of computing would revolve around distributed infrastructure accessible through the internet rather than isolated personal machines. Over time, he held leadership roles across several divisions, including the company's online services group, enterprise software operations, and the development of large-scale infrastructure platforms. One of Nadella's most important achievements during this period was his leadership in building Microsoft's cloud computing ecosystem, particularly the development of Microsoft Azure, which would eventually become one of the most powerful cloud platforms in the world, competing directly with Amazon's AWS and services offered by Google. Nadella's vision emphasized that the future of technology lay not in isolated devices but in interconnected cloud platforms capable of powering artificial intelligence, big data analysis, and global digital services. His leadership style stood out within Microsoft's corporate culture because he encouraged collaboration rather than internal competition, curiosity rather than rigid hierarchy, and empathy rather than purely aggressive corporate strategy. By 2014, Microsoft faced a pivotal moment in its history. The company had achieved enormous success in previous decades but was struggling to adapt to the mobile computing revolution dominated by smartphones and new digital ecosystems. And when CEO Steve Ballmer announced his retirement, the board of directors searched for a leader capable of transforming Microsoft for a new technological era. In February 2014, Satya Nadella was officially appointed as the third CEO in Microsoft's history, succeeding Steve Ballmer and becoming the first CEO born outside the United States, a milestone that symbolized both the globalization of the technology industry and the recognition of Nadella's strategic vision. Upon assuming leadership, Nadella immediately began reshaping Microsoft's culture and strategy, emphasizing what he famously called a growth mindset, inspired partly by psychologist Carol Dweck, encouraging employees to embrace experimentation, learning, and innovation rather than fear of failure. One of Nadella's most significant strategic moves was shifting Microsoft away from its previous focus on Windows dominance toward a broader ecosystem centered on cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and cross-platform services. Under his leadership, Microsoft expanded Azure into a global infrastructure powerhouse supporting businesses, governments, and developers worldwide, while also acquiring influential companies such as LinkedIn in 2016 and GitHub in 2018, acquisitions that strengthened Microsoft's presence in professional networking and developer communities. Nadella also championed openness in software development, a shift that surprised many observers who remembered Microsoft's historically competitive stance toward open-source technology. Under Nadella's direction, Microsoft began contributing to open-source projects and integrating its platforms with tools widely used by developers around the world. This transformation revitalized the company's reputation and market value, pushing Microsoft back to the forefront of global technology leadership. During Nadella's tenure, Microsoft invested heavily in artificial intelligence research, cloud infrastructure expansion, and productivity platforms such as Microsoft Teams, which became especially critical during the global remote work surge of the early 2020s. Beyond technological achievements, Nadella became known for a leadership philosophy deeply influenced by empathy, a value shaped partly by personal experiences including raising a child with special needs, which broadened his understanding of accessibility and inclusion in technology design. He frequently spoke about the importance of technology serving humanity rather than dominating it, emphasizing ethical responsibility in the development of artificial intelligence and digital infrastructure. Nadella also emerged as a global voice in discussions about the future of work, digital transformation, and the economic impact of technological innovation. His leadership style blended intellectual humility with strategic clarity, allowing him to guide Microsoft through rapid industry changes while maintaining long-term vision. Over the years, Microsoft's market value soared into the trillions of dollars, placing it among the most valuable companies in the world and demonstrating the effectiveness of Nadella's transformation strategy. Yet despite his immense professional influence, Nadella often emphasized that success should not be measured solely through financial achievements, but through the impact technology has on improving lives and empowering individuals and organizations worldwide.